Welcome to video 29. God's law is freedom, the law of love. Hello, friend. Thanks again for being here. In my last video, I talked about how the present moment is so bright that we've got to wear shades. Why? Because it's the only time there is, and it's where God and our true self abide. We are not in the past or in the future, since they don't exist, but we do exist. And that idea is very bright indeed. Why are we always so excited about the future, yet dread it at the same time? Because it's not here yet, and because we fear it will be like the past. But tomorrow never comes, does it? It's always today, not yesterday or tomorrow. In fact, it's right now. So now, it cannot pass, because what is really now can never be over. Can what doesn't pass end? Bigger, The past is only what we thought something was, yet the moment we thought we could judge it as something, it became nothing and unreal now. This is what the past is. It isn't. It's unreal. What is real cannot be judged because it is beyond the limited ideas of what is believed to be a separated mind. The now moment, which is where all reality is a constant. It only seems to pass because it takes time to judge something. And the ego is always attempting to label the now so as to attempt to understand it in the greater scheme of things. Yet, there is no scheme of things. There is only oneness. There is nothing to figure out or anticipate or analyze, since what is one has no actual aspects to judge. Best to leave the now moment to God, to do with as He wills, for then we will be allowing what is real and true to affect us in our awareness, the imaginary aspect of mind that we seem to think exists. In truth, in the now, left perfectly unblemished from any judgment, with no past or future to mar its brightness, you've got to wear shades. Today's topic is God's law is freedom, the law of love. Did you know that love is a law? It is. And because it's God's only law, it also can't be broken. It's not like the laws of man, where people can disobey them. With God, what is His law not only must be, it's not even a matter of obeying it. He creates by His law. So we are the law of love. This, my friends, is what freedom is. The love of God, that we are and give as He gives and is. We cannot not give and give like Him only, as He is the only thing to give. And we can only receive what He gives, even when it seems like we are giving it, because we are the only one. Yet, we can be confused about what we are, can't we? When we question it. When we don't realize that all there is love, and thus have no choice but to give what we are, and be what we are, and to ourselves, we imagine that we have received something else. This something else is scary, and it imprisons. It removes our knowledge from our awareness that we must forever be free, like God. God's answer to this strange non-condition that is quite impossible is, if you think you are imprisoned, unlock every prison door in the jailhouse and let the captives free. Hey, it is our own mind that has bound us, so the source of the delusion must be the place where the solution is applied. And it is our mind that has bound ourself by believing we can bind a part of us that we falsely believed is not a part of the whole. So it must be us that unlocks the prison doors. God has nothing to do with condemnation. The only judgment He ever has made is that We are his beloved child. This is why we need not worry that God's highest court will or could condemn us or anyone. It will merely dismiss the case against us, all of us. The Holy Spirit is the highest court, and he judges truly. A Course in Miracles states, and I quote, "There can be no case against a child of God, and every witness to guilt in God's creations is bearing false witness to God himself. Appeal everything you believe gladly to God's own higher court, because it speaks for him and therefore speaks truly. It will dismiss the case against you, however carefully you have built it up. The case may be foolproof, but it is not God-proof. The Holy Spirit will not hear it because he can only witness truly. His verdict will always be, 'Thine is the kingdom,' because he was given to you to remind you of what you are." End quote. Now this is what I call freedom. Freedom from all, because the impossible world that we made in fear that counters God's will, where people can act out unlovingly, does not exist. Thus, we are all innocent. But you may be saying, what about all the bad guys out there? They are inflicting pain. Yes, I know. It may seem like people are dishing out a lot of hate in this place, including ourselves sometimes. But this is only a seeming, not a fact. What God has proclaimed as real and true is not the same as what we choose to believe, thus think we see. We have no idea what we are looking at when we look through bodies' eyes that cannot see truth, as all flesh is lies. The best we can do is to think we know what is going on, but we are always wrong. What is real and true lies beyond all appearances, and it's love, whether we believe it or not. Let's take the body. It may seem quite real, but when it's gone, what then? They say, rest in peace. But how can we rest if we're dead? This means that, though on the surface we think we are gone when the body ceases to function, for whatever reason, deeper down, we all know that once that has happened, this imaginary death, we are off to a better place, where all fear is impossible and where every tear is wiped dry. Where else could we rest but in certainty? And how else could we rest if we weren't any longer? The truth is that we live and cannot die, because our Father knows not of time and has always been. To think upon the fact that time doesn't exist is to slowly realize a lot of important things, very important things. With only eternity, God's creation didn't happen before, but is a constant. We are constantly being created, each instant, and the same. The past doesn't matter because there is no past. What we think happened couldn't happen because nothing ever happens. It's always. What we are ever must be always, because there is no way that change could occur in timelessness. There is no way for, quote, others to exist, because where there is no time for procreation. Everything, quote, happens at once. This must mean that, in truth, not in the dream of fear, there's only one of us, and we must be forever young in oneness and love, where it's impossible to attack or be attacked. This is the true meaning of freedom. This is also what love is all about. Freedom is fearlessness, not false pride or, quote, confidence. Where fear has gone, love must come, because these are the only two alternatives, and from these two, only one is real. Only God is real. Hello. God is certainly not fear, because God is certain, and fear is completely confused about everything. Thus, freedom is certainty, and certainty is love. We are that, and we must give and receive only that. What seems like something else can thus only be a mistaken perception based on a fearful idea that has no cause and thus no reality. God has nothing to do with nothingness. He is everything that is and nothing that isn't. So, next time you judge your brother, realize this: you have judged yourself, and wrongly. What we are, which is everything, is beyond judgment. When we judge, we are always judging against everything, which we are a part. While thinking that this judgment applies only to something or someone specific, there are no specifics. We are one. Let us not believe in impossibilities. It only causes us sadness. God creates only like himself. He is one. Thus, we must be one. God has no body, thus we must have no body. The world of form and of time is a dream. None of it is real. Nothing that seems to happen in the dream is possible. God lives forever and as spirit only. To be imprisoned is to believe we are in the dream of where condemnation is at all possible. Condemnation is meaningless without attack. So we made a world of bodies up in our minds where we could condemn and attack ourselves. What we are in truth, however, is forever beyond any of that nonsense. No matter how guilty we have made ourselves to believe we are forever as God created us to be. We may believe in the dream, one in which we have attacked and destroyed, but we cannot be guilty for what cannot really occur. When we awaken from the dream, we will realize it is over, and none of it ever happened. It's a dream. Nothing in the dream is sure, because it's a dream born of fear. But our reality is one of certainty. When we realize that we are one with that, and that our will is one with God's, and that we have no other real alternative, we begin to realize that we share God's attributes. In reality, we are invulnerable, certain, eternal, and fully innocent. We cannot be imprisoned because we are the only one who could lock the door. There isn't even a door to lock. Heaven has no doors. God put us inside, and there is no outside. The prison house is an imagined place. We are forever free. This is what free will is all about. Our minds are not free to condemn themselves. They are free to be free, without fear and without end. All our brothers are with us. This is reality. Pensive thought to ponder. Isn't it unexpected how the more we wake up to truth, the less we seem to have to think about? It almost seems uneventful, boring, almost even to the ego, that is. That's because peace is a state of stillness, of a mind in certainty. Fear is very captivating, in a terrible way, like a horror movie. It imprisons our mind to a belief in terror. It's totally unpredictable, except that an unhappy outcome is guaranteed. No matter how good it gets in this world, it always ends in death. But in truth, there's nothing to be upset about and nothing to think about except the peace of oneness. This thought is peace. Peace is nice because we aren't always worried. When we worry, we are in a state of uncertainty, full of questions. To ask a question is to not know. Yet we must know because we are the knowing of God himself. This is not boring. This is just calm and happy. We don't have to understand to be. God and his creation is beyond comprehension anyway and cannot be conceived. What is one cannot be figured out because what is one has no pieces to examine, label, and compare to other pieces to try to ascertain what it is. This is why it's okay to just trust in what is and realize that it's good. It's the type of good that God knows. Good with no bad. It's bliss. Not only is it God's will that we have it, He created us as it, so we can never, ever lose it. To enjoy heaven is to stop questioning it and just let it be. Peace, my friends. See you in my next video.